Good morning and welcome to our last session this year of Wake Up Wednesday. So this has been a true pleasure starting something new and, seeing some familiar faces, seeing some new faces. And look, it's that time of the year where what you really do over the next several weeks is going to set your momentum up for 2024. So we have this working week and next working week. We have that weird week between Christmas and New Year's, and then the year starts, right? So before you know it, all your hopes, dreams, desires, all that fun stuff that comes with a new year is going to begin. And so as, if you're our clients, we have 3 business planning sessions next week. If you're not our clients, you're doing business planning at some capacity. And what I encourage all of you to think about is, as you look at these plans, the next thing that you want to think about is, how does my plan show up in my schedule? It's actually really simple, right? So if you want to do a certain amount of deals, how much time do you have for prospecting? If you want to master your listing presentation, where are you learning the skill from? Where are you practicing it? And how much time can you commit to it every day? And how long of a period of time are you going to do it? And then the other thing that I want everyone to think about is stop adding so much stuff onto your plan. The amount of stuff that people put in these plans, it's crazy. If you're not like super focused and dialed in with time blocking and maximizing your filler time and everything else like that, then don't add a whole bunch of stuff, right? Like even like with my kids, I was explaining to them the other day, what's filler time? They're like, Daddy, what the heck are you talking about now, right? They'll remember this when they get older. Oh, my dad said filler time. I was cooking them food. I was making them macaroni and cheese, right? I'm one of these people, I follow all the directions on the box. So I had 9 minutes while, essentially I had to wait for the water to boil. The water boiled, so I had to pay attention. I put the mac and cheese in, set the alarm for 9 minutes. I'm like, this is filler time. So at that point, I took all the dishes out of the dishwasher and I put them in, and, I was able to do one other thing. And I go, look, this is filler time, because if I took this time, I didn't do anything else, I would not have been able to accomplish this. So like being successful is the ongoing effort to make the best of your filler time, right? So if you're sitting there in your car and in these other moments, what are you doing with your filler time, right? If one of your goals is organizing your CRM, well, guess what? You can go to your Compass CRM. That archive button is available anywhere you go, and it's available on your cell phone. So when you're waiting for an appointment, you're waiting at a doctor's appointment, you have this filler time, start getting in the habit of doing things that are productive. Right? You can fill your filler time with productivity, or you could fill your filler time with mindless nonsense. That's just a short form of entertainment. But look, in the end of the day, if you have big goals, you need aligned actions. Right? So if you look at your habits, your disciplines, and your actions, and you look at your plan, does your schedules and are your actions aligned around what you really want? It's a very simple concept. And then it's a self-reflection, right? I was meeting with an entrepreneur the other day that I'm working with, and they want to launch like essentially 3 different verticals that all integrate into one. Well, I'm like, number one, you need to have like an overall voice to what your brand is. The other thing is you need to build out a content marketing strategy. You need to build out your content pillars. You need to figure out how you're going to give each one of these things time. And I go, the reality of it is, if you really want to do this, this is going to monopolize all of your working time, and odds are all of your free time, because building a business in the beginning is a 12 to 15 hour day and endeavor if you want to build something great. It's this concept. I learned this from Comedy Lane, who used to be a president at Compass. We used to do the segment called Agent Talk, and some of you might have seen it. Parker, you might have seen it because you've been around here a while. And, we would interview a different agent or somebody in leadership every week. And Comedy was a president of the entire West Coast, which is the largest region of Compass, and she was a single mom. So I asked her, like, how do you get all this stuff done where you're a present parent as well as this? She says it's a concept called ruthless prioritization. In every minute of my day, I ruthlessly prioritize those 2 things, my family and my work, and everything else has to fit into that. I noticed I said family first. So if you look at life, it's this beautiful collection of moments that fill a day. And if you look at the outcome of your lives, It is a beautiful set of choices that you make throughout a day. So if you look at where you are, it's nothing more or less than the choices you chose to make in a compilation of days. If you're not where you are, where you want to be in your business, the question I ask is have a real moment of self-reflection and hold the mirror to yourself and says, what choices am I currently making? And what choices do I need to make differently? Because if you make the same choices, you're going to have the same outcome. If you don't ruthlessly prioritize what you want to do, you're never going to get to the outcome. And for a lot of us, it's filler time. What are we doing with our moments in the day? When we look back at our day and we look at the choices we make in our day, are our actions aligned with what we say we want and what our goals are? Does that sound complicated to anybody? No, but that too is a choice. And that is a choice that you're going to have to make every single day. You know, I can remember a few years ago when I needed to learn how to delegate better. I used to have this list, and I stopped having the list when my mom saw it one day and she like freaked out. Literally, the list said, what did I do today that could have paid somebody else to do? I would just keep a list. And each day my choice was, I'm going to just give this out to the people in my lives that work for me. And one day she freaked out and I didn't raise you like this. And then it was like, I'm like, Jesus, Mom. I'm like, I can't live. If I get a traffic ticket, I can't sit in court for that day. I have to pay a lawyer to go because it's not a use of my time. My mom doesn't understand it. She's not going to understand it. And I don't expect her to understand it. I can be clear with what my boundaries are in it. I can continue to make those choices, but it was a choice I had to make every single day that forced me to realize a realization that I wasn't able to come to on my own. And David can tell you now, I'm a pretty good delegator. Whether it's in my house, whether it's at work, but that was a big choice that I had to make. So the question is, as you make your plan, what are your choices? When you look back at your year, what choices were the right ones, what choices were the wrong ones, and what choices you're going to make differently? Look, in the end, the biggest multiplier in business is consistency. If you can take an hour a day and work on something, at the end of the week, it's 5 hours, 20 hours a month, 60 hours a quarter. Most people don't spend 60 hours on anything. And believe me, you all spend an hour a day on all different filler tasks. Right? Like, think about this. If you took all of the time that you spent on a social platform this year, how many hours or how many actual days do you think that is? You notice there's a reason that they don't have a button that says how much time you spent there, because nobody would go back. And these things are literally built to addict you to them. So that's a choice. I know many people that made a choice that says, I'm not going to give more than an hour a day to these platforms. But in the end of the day, even at an hour a day, we're at 60 hours a month, a quarter, 240 hours in a year, which is 10 full days of your life. And that's at an hour, 5 days a week. If you do an hour 7 days a week, that's 30 hours a month, 90 hours a quarter, 360 hours in a year. That's 240 and half. That's 15 days of your life, a half a month of your life, a year you're losing to a platform. And then we wonder why things aren't going the way that we're going. We wonder why we don't feel more confident on our pitch. We wonder why the things aren't moving forward in our lives. Martha, what's 4,000 weeks? You got to unmute yourself now.
Sorry, I had to find the mute button. I don't know who the author is off the top of my head, but it's about the fact that all of us on the planet have an average of 4,000 weeks and our time is finite. So you have to make wise choices, but more importantly, you have to be happy with the choices you make.
Yeah. 4,000 weeks. So as we round out this session, what are the choices you're going to make? What's the great thing you want to build to your life, in your life and in your business? And what is the commitment you're going to make? Excuse me, how are you going to ruthlessly prioritize it? What do you need to say no to? What habits and relationships do you need to change for the things that you want to work for yourself for them to work? That's my question for all of you. Who here feels deep in thought right now? I feel this way too, even saying this stuff out loud, right? This might just be my favorite session that we've done yet, because it's real. These are real life factors. And the reality is, for many of us, we don't even have control over them. We don't even know what we're doing. We don't even realize the impact on them. If you ask somebody else, they can probably tell you how they see you and like where this stuff is. I can tell you, I don't know that many people more worried about me, my well-being, and burning out and crashing than David Severance. David's always watching. They share about that, David, for years, right?
Absolutely. Chirag offers so much to so many, and it's natural for him, and it's easy for him. Well, not easy, but it's a commitment that he's made to himself and to us in the company and all of you. And it's something we all need to be thoughtful of. I always say your life is a reflection of what you're committed to. And what you're committed to is reflected in the choices and how you spend your time.
David's true concern is that I'm going to crash and burn one day because I'm very focused on everyone else and I put myself last. Right. So I've worked on this, and, it was, and I'll share this with all of you. It was, I don't know, David, maybe 6 months ago. David said to me, he goes, you ever wondered why I came here and I changed my own business and all this stuff? He says, because I knew you were like a very unique person that had something special and a big impact to make in the world. But I also knew from going through a leadership thing that one day that I had this feeling that you were going to crash and burn. And that there was that day, and it happened this year. And so he was there that day. We spent hours together talking. We smiled, we laughed, cried, but he was there because he knew it was coming. And just like I can see it with many of us, right? So, it's not easy. Greatness comes with great sacrifice, right? And there's only so much time you have in the day for all the things that you want to do. And a lot of us have kids and families and spouses and relationships. And it's like figuring out how this whole puzzle goes together is very hard. And in the process of doing it, I'm sorry, Parker, in the process of doing this, there's so many things you learn about yourself if you want to learn them. Give yourself a break at the end of this year. Whatever choices you made, just realize you could wake up one day and just make new ones. And all of the other stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't. You can choose to make your life complicated. You could choose to make your life simple. You could choose to fill your time with things that are forms of entertainment, or more, in my mind, a form of a distraction. Or you could choose every day to ruthlessly prioritize yourself and fill your time with significance, meaning, purpose, and things that are driving you towards your goals and the things you love the most. My goal in anything that we do is to make things simple for people and create more time in their life for the things they love to do. If you ask me if I could, off the top of my head, what was the best time of the year, it's the 5 days that I turned my phone off from Wednesday to Sunday and all the life I got to live. Look, if you get rid of your cell phone, the amount of life memories you can build and things you can do in a day are insane. I'm going to go a couple minutes over, but I'm going to share this with you. I joined a mastermind by Jesse Itzler, who's a great entrepreneur, but people really know him as Sarah Blakely's husband, the person who came up with Spanx. And so I didn't want to go. I just got divorced at this time. And I was just really feeling down, and it's very hard for me not to have my kids all the time. And my assistant at the time was like, oh, Chirag, be optimistic. There are cold plunges, there's saunas, there's all the stuff you love. So I remember one morning we woke up and they asked us, you could either do one activity, I forgot what the one was, or you could meet at the docks for yoga at 6 o'clock in the morning. We met for yoga at 6 o'clock in the morning. After that, we had breakfast. Then after that, we split up into teams, and over Candlewood Lake, it turned out to be competitive because a bunch of high drive entrepreneurs pushed the kayak across the lake and back. Then when we came back, we had time to decompress, and they had like the compression pans, saunas, steam rooms, cold plunges. We did that for a couple hours. Then they have a hill that he uses, and we walked up and down this hill for a period of time and pushed ourselves. Then we had lunch. Then after lunch, we went on a boat, we drove around, we all went cliff jumping and everything like that. Then we went back, we changed, we went to our rooms, decompressed for an hour, had dinner. We all talked a little more. There was a live band dancing and everything, and that was one day. And the next day he goes, that was a pretty amazing day, and we did a lot of stuff. He's like, the part that we all fail to realize is by not planning, we're cheating ourselves of those days. You could have that day any day, every Saturday, every Sunday, every day you choose to take off and you choose to be present can be filled with meaningful connections, memories, and things you can do. And, we always have this idea that we don't have time for things. Well, that one day generally is equivalent to all these things. And he's like, you need to do a few things. Number one, you need to plan, right? Number two, you just need to ditch these devices and live life. We're put on this planet to live. And that was, I spent $30,000 on that mastermind. I didn't attend a lot of the stuff or whatever it was. But let me tell you, that day made all the difference in my life. It was worth every dollar. Because to get something good in your business, in your life, out of a coaching program doesn't take a lot. That one day was worth my entire investment. I didn't have to go to all the stuff or anything like that, because now I learned, right? Now we'll sit here with our kids and look at how next year is, what experiences want to have once a month, try a new experience. These are all things I learned there. So I encourage you to dream bigger, push out of your comfort zone. Don't settle for complacency. Really look at the choices that you're making and think about what it is you really want to do. And ask yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze? Meaning, are your aligned actions and what you're getting out of them worth the squeeze in terms of your goals, your future, and what you really want? So as always, with love in my heart, I love you all. I hope you have an incredible day. New Year's, happy everything, because who knows what holidays everyone celebrates now. And, thank you all for being present, open, thoughtful, committed, and always stretching to be the best versions of yourself. Tamina, you have a quick question.
Yeah, I do. So I was looking at your end-to-end, the action plans that you already have laid out. You can click them, the step-by-step. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to know, is it possible that I could add something in there? I wanted to add a video masterclass.
Email Trisha. She'd be the best one to be able to help you with anything.
Just do a colonoscopy.
Oh, okay, I'm on.
All right, listen, I have to jump. I'm
Sure.
4 minutes late to another call. Email me, Tamina, what you need, and I'll set you up with our team.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.